came up with my invention idea based on my job, physical therapy. I started in athletic training, which is more of basically rehabilitation for athletes. And I do have a history of ankle injuries when I was a soccer player. So I kind of didn't really have great help with my rehabilitation. I kept getting re-injured and it limited my abilities for soccer. So then as I wanted to do medicine, I pursued athletic training, learned about rehabilitation, which ankles is a big part of, and then which led to physical therapy, which is more clinical and specific. And I kind of saw that when people did ankle rehabilitation, people weren't doing it really effectively across the board. There were a lot of different interpretations of how it can be done, and I tried to pursue the best education from people who are more advanced in the field as far as ankle and feet, and tried to learn the best way to rehabilitate and strengthen. I had a lot of people who have ankle injuries, and I tried to teach them how to do exercises very specifically, and they would struggle with doing them correctly at home because you need to have the band, the resistance tool, at kind of designated angles, and it's not always easy for them to accommodate that at home. So I kind of thought, boy, wouldn't it be great if I had a device that I could build that is very simple for people to just set up at home to do these exercises, do it correctly, and therefore get better faster. In 2012, I decided to come up with this idea, and was fortunate enough to meet someone who could help me build a prototype that I have, and from there I just found the right connections to be involved with the Innovation Institute. So I was at an awards dinner for St. Jude Medical Center, and I went to speak personally to Lee Penrose, who's the CEO for St. Jude, and had just mentioned to him, hey, you know, I have this ankle device that I'm working on, and I'm looking for companies or a company that may be able to bring it forward through, you know, patent and getting it commercialized and whatnot. And so he recommended the Innovation Institute, specifically Larry Stofko and Joe Randolph. And then I had emailed with them, and then my first initial meeting was with Larry, and I brought my device in, and it was a very good meeting. We had a nice conversation, and we kind of just started communicating after that. So when I brought it here, we had several meetings and discussed ways to make it better, more effective, more efficient, you know, more cost-effective in a sense. And after a few collaborative events, we kind of came to a very simple, specific device that is what we appear to be a great tool, and it will be pretty dynamic because it can be used for range of motion, it can be used for strengthening, and it can be used for proprioception or balance training. So if somebody was sitting in a chair, they would have their leg in the contraption, and there would be a Velcro strap to hold the leg in place so you don't compensate by using your hip. And the strap would be on the foot of the individual, and then they would be able to pivot their ankle in whatever specified direction we have set up, whether for the ankle everters or the ankle inverters or the dorsiflexors. You can set it up on either side of the cradle, or you would be able to set it up out in front, or you can set it up at a slight angle either way. And the band would then be able to have set up so that it's at appropriate resistance so that you would be able to move your foot at the specific range for certain muscles to be activated. The other thing that should be probably mentioned is that this can come apart, and we would be able to add a half sphere dome to this to be able to flip over to use as a balance board. If someone has an idea for a device or whatnot, they simply can go online and fill out the paperwork and see if the Innovation Institute is interested in pursuing that. And if so, then, I mean, realistically, you're giving your idea to Innovation Institute to pursue it. You don't have to incur a lot of the costs. They will take care of those things if they see it's worthwhile. And if it is, and you do end up going through patent and maybe eventually commercialization, there is a percentage of royalties that is given to you. So for someone like myself, who originally went by myself to go through patent, then I had to incur fees, but then had a discussion with Innovation Lab to get things cleared. But for somebody who just going to ask for help with Innovation Lab, then you don't have to worry about that so much. You just have an idea, you're willing to share it and see if they're willing to bring it forward or not. So in all honesty, it's actually pretty easy on your behalf, and if they're interested, then you're going to have all the support you need.